President Joe Biden has demonstrated strategic acumen once again by vetoing a controversial bill proposed by the Republican-controlled House that would have created 65 new federal judgeships. This decision effectively prevents former President Donald Trump from potentially filling those positions should he return to office. Biden's move highlights his commitment to preserving fairness in judicial appointments and protecting his legacy of appointing more federal judges than Trump. The bill, known as the Judges Act, initially appeared to be a bipartisan effort aimed at alleviating congestion in federal courts by adding new judgeships. It passed the Senate with bipartisan support, suggesting a shared interest in judicial reform. However, its trajectory took a sharp turn when the MAGA-aligned House delayed its consideration until after the midterm elections, transforming the bill into a partisan tool. Biden originally supported the bill under the condition that the appointments would be equitably distributed, ensuring fairness across administrations. The proposal called for a division of appointments, potentially granting Biden 20 to 25 seats while reserving the rest for future administrations. However, the House's decision to delay the process until after the election shifted the political dynamics, raising concerns about fairness and the real intent behind the bill. By postponing the vote, the MAGA-controlled House gambled on the possibility of Republican victories, allowing them to hand Trump the lion's share of new judgeships. Recognizing this maneuver, Biden vetoed the bill, asserting that it no longer upheld its original bipartisan intent, but instead had become a partisan ploy to consolidate power. The veto demonstrates Biden's understanding of legislative power and his ability to act decisively to preserve judicial fairness. Under U.S. law, a presidential veto prevents a bill from becoming law unless both chambers of Congress can override it with a two-thirds majority. In practical terms, this means the House would need 290 votes out of 435, and the Senate would require 67 out of 100 votes, thresholds that are unlikely to be met given the current political makeup. With Republicans holding approximately 214 seats in the House, they would need over 75 Democratic representatives to defect and support overriding the veto. Similarly, in the Senate, Republicans would need at least 11 Democratic senators to cross party lines, an improbable scenario. Biden's veto, therefore, effectively kills the Judges Act, making it a non-starter for the foreseeable future. The urgency claimed by Republicans to address judicial vacancies and relieve court backlogs was undermined by their delay in advancing the bill. If the need for judges was as pressing as they suggested, the House could have acted promptly when the bill first passed the Senate. Instead, the delay exposed their political strategy, giving Biden ample justification to block the legislation. Biden's veto not only preserves fairness, but also raises the stakes for future legislative efforts to expand the judiciary. Historically, Congress has approved significant judicial expansions, such as during Ronald Reagan's administration, which saw the addition of over 300 federal judgeships. While such expansions remain theoretically possible, the political landscape makes achieving similar reforms under Trump far more challenging. Looking ahead, Biden's veto sends a clear message that judicial appointments cannot be manipulated for partisan advantage. By rejecting the bill, he has safeguarded the principle of balanced governance, ensuring that judicial expansions reflect genuine need rather than political opportunism. Beyond judicial appointments, Biden's broader legislative strategy underscores his ability to govern effectively even as a lame duck president. Despite facing Republican opposition, Biden has successfully advanced key priorities, including infrastructure investments, aid for Ukraine, and support for clean energy initiatives. His administration's efforts have resulted in hundreds of billions of dollars in funding for critical projects, demonstrating proactive governance during a transitional period. Biden's judicial legacy, in particular, stands out as a defining achievement. He has appointed hundreds of federal judges, many of whom reflect America's diversity and commitment to justice. By prioritizing judicial appointments, Biden has not only strengthened the judiciary but also countered efforts to undermine it through partisan tactics. The veto of the Judges Act is just one example of Biden's strategic foresight. Recognizing the long-term implications of judicial appointments, he acted decisively to prevent Republicans from stacking the courts. This move reflects his understanding of legislative processes, honed through decades of experience in the Senate. Biden's actions highlight the importance of protecting democratic principles and maintaining balance in government institutions. By vetoing the bill, he reinforced the idea that judicial appointments should serve the public interest rather than partisan agendas. As Biden continues to navigate the complexities of governance, his ability to balance competing priorities remains evident. From infrastructure and clean energy to judicial appointments, his administration's achievements underscore his effectiveness as a leader. In the broader context, Biden's veto also reflects the challenges of modern governance, where legislative processes are often entangled with partisan maneuvering. His decision to block the Judges Act serves as a reminder that effective governance requires vigilance and strategic action to preserve fairness and accountability. While some may view Biden's actions as obstructive, they reflect a commitment to upholding democratic principles and ensuring equitable governance. The vetoed bill's transformation from a bipartisan effort into a partisan tool underscores the need for transparency and fairness in legislative processes. Moving forward, Biden's approach to judicial appointments and governance will continue to shape his legacy. By prioritizing fairness and accountability, he has positioned himself as a president committed to protecting democratic values. In conclusion, Biden's veto of the Judges Act represents a significant moment in his presidency. It highlights his strategic foresight, legislative expertise, and commitment to preserving fairness in judicial appointments. As he continues to navigate the challenges of governance, Biden's actions will leave a lasting impact on the judiciary and American democracy.